if men didn't buy our and if men hated us so much for what we do because it's easy money, maybe don't watch it. Because if, as a male, if you guys come to a unity and say, hey, boys, let's stop watching so that these dumb, pretty girls can stop getting paid for sitting on their little fucking asses and doing absolutely nothing, and they're doing nothing, and they look so pretty, and yet they're getting paid more than $400,000 a year.
That's more than
who's yeah, exactly.
Wait,
and it's not by doing nothing. There's a lot of work involved.
Yeah,
a lot
so
of work.
I make more than a doctor, and I capitalize off of men. You guys are my biggest fans, even if you're haters. I made over $400,000 last year, and it is all because of you. So you guys want to keep clowning on sex work? Keep it up, because if you guys just came together as a whole, as men, you guys, we wouldn't be in business. We are profiting off of you. Thank you. Keep subscribing to our OnlyFans. Keep talking shit about sex workers, because we are making so much more money, and I'm about to be at fucking $1 million this year. So keep it up.
Kind of on that topic, I am friends with a man who said something about how, I could never date an OnlyFans chick. And I said, why? And he's like, well, I can't be with somebody who's with other men. Like, other men are looking at her, blah, 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 all this stuff.
And that's an insecurity.
Yeah, and I said, okay.
It's not insecure.
But I said to him, do you use OnlyFans? And he said, yes.
Yeah.
Oh
and
my
I said,
God.
Misogynistic,
No.
insecure,
That's actually,
and he is so hypocritical.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Nope. It's actually not. It's not. That's not hypocritical, actually.
Brian, what are you about to say?
No, I will address this argument. I'll address this argument. Hold on one sec.
I've been on the islands enjoying some African queens. I'm not gonna get into again, but I've already told you bona fide scrubs to follow suit and give up on these bonehead Western women. Just glad I'm reading ABT less ratings thanks to these hoes.
What the fuck?
Mike Davis.
Because we are therapists. Yeah. Sex workers are
Wait, okay, so your argument is that the guy said, well, I wouldn't date a girl who does OnlyFans.
Yes, and then I said, do you watch OnlyFans? And he said yes, and I said, okay, well, do you understand why women in relationships
let me answer.
Don't want men watching porn and going on OnlyFans? And he said, okay, I can see what you mean. It's hypocritical for a man to not want a woman who's selling her body or showing off her body.
It's not.
But also,
yes, it is. He's subscribing to the content.
Just finish your point and I'll respond.
You can respond.
No, but okay, so your position is that if a guy watches OnlyFans, it would be hypocritical of him to not date a woman who does OnlyFans. Is that your...
No, it would be hypocritical for him to not expect me to not want him to be looking at other women.
Wait, that's not... You're walking back what you said, but I'm pretty sure, unless I totally misread what you said that it would be hypocritical for a guy to not want to date a girl who does OnlyFans if he himself watches OnlyFans.
That's what I heard too.
Yes.
Did I accurately... reiterate what you said.
There are two parts.
Because I continued.
No, but
you were interrupting me when I was continuing.
Lynn donated $100. I'm a Lynn. Also, my dream would to be on the pod, but I'm a NorCal girl.
Well, hey, Lynn, shoot us a DM on Instagram at whatever. We have girls come from all over the state, all over the country. You're from Nashville, right? Mm-hmm. You're from Vegas. Are you in Vegas? Arizona, Vegas? Oh, Idaho. Oh, shit. Okay.
Amy was from Florida.
Yeah,
right?
we have people coming from Europe. We have people coming from out the country. So, Lynn, shoot us a DM. Thank you so much for your patronage tonight. It really means the world. So just to bring it back to this. Okay, there were two parts, right? But the first part was it would be hypocritical for a guy to not want to date a girl who does OnlyFans if he himself consumed and watched and paid for OnlyFans.
No,
correct?
No, I said there was
just open it. She said that though, right? She did say that.
You interrupted me, and I was continuing what I was saying, but you went ahead and started asking me a question before I continued my point.
So are you walking back what you said?
No, I never said that it's hypocritical for a man to...
You quite literally...
No, you just interrupted me before. I don't know why you're not allowing me to continue my sentence.
Okay, well, finish your sentence. I was asking you a clarifying question.
A man told me that he would not date a woman who was on OnlyFans, and then I asked him, okay, well, do you use OnlyFans? And he said yes. And then I said, okay, well, do you see why women in relationships or women in general don't want men looking at and watch? It's all going off of the point of whoever said the last comment.
But then I must have misunderstood. But what I thought I heard was, again, just if a guy watches OnlyFans but he's not down to date a girl who does OnlyFans, that's hypocritical. Now, maybe that's not what you said, but do you believe that it would be hypocritical for a guy who consumes OnlyFans to not want to date a girl who does OnlyFans?
I think it's different. I don't know if it's hypocritical, but I think that, like, as a person, if I'm looking for a man who's looking for a man for the rest of my life, I wouldn't want them looking at OnlyFans.
I think I don't object to that.
I don't think men should be, like, it was just going off of the point of the person that commented. I don't think that I think men should collectively, if they're going to attack women constantly for being OnlyFans,
then maybe they should join up together and not watch, because it's up to you in the male race to stop me from making so much money. Only you can stop me from making so much money.
Sound like the Avengers.
I kind of understand your point, but so you're saying you would object to...
I don't think that men should be consuming and going to sex workers and all those things.
Did anyone else hear the... I could have sworn...
Hold on.
I could have sworn the way it was framed was, again, if you're a guy and you are watching OnlyFans, watching porn, and you wouldn't want to date a girl who does OnlyFans or who does porn, that makes you a hypocrite.
I don't agree with that.
That's what I heard. I was ready to rebuttal
that. Might have been what you heard.
I think
that might have been what you heard, but I
didn't
didn't say that, and that's not what I believe in, and I don't agree with that statement.
I mean, okay, so.
But I can see where you could have heard
let's
that.
Let's just throw it out there. You didn't say it, but just as for the sake of argument, my rebuttal to that would be someone could enjoy watching professional sports and not want to participate in the NFL.
Absolutely.
Like, you can enjoy watching the NFL and also not want to play in the NFL, or even have their son play in it because of CTE, concussion, injury risk, etc. So just because you participate as a spectator does not mean you need to necessarily endorse it.
I guess the question is, like, it goes back to the reasoning behind why they wouldn't want to date somebody who does OnlyFans, right? If their reasoning is like, I'm just not comfortable being romantic with someone who's being sexual with other people, that's one thing. But if their reasoning is like, oh no, it's like disgusting or something, then it would be like the equivalent would be enjoying watching sports, but then thinking it's like wrong to participate in them. So that
it would be disgusting to date her.
Yeah, if that's a reasoning, then they are being hypocritical.
I don't think so.
Because it's... To take your sports analogy, it's
can
like somebody.
Can you participate in something that you find disgusting?
How can you look at a picture of a woman that you think is disgusting and get off of that?
Yeah.
That's the point. It's like,
I don't know. People be jerking into some weird ass shit.
Jerking
That's
it.
true.
Yeah.
They be.
That's kind of like Madonna whore complexy.
Yeah. One thing that men have said though is they've said that have spoken to me their reservations of going with a girl that's in the industry who is getting constant attention for themselves. Will she be satisfied just hanging out with me? When she's not doing that persona, when she's not in character, or does she constantly need attention and validation from other men? And that's something that has been a concern that men have described to me, and that's reasonable.
I think that is valid because I think if one of the things that a man can do in terms of what he brings to the relationship is giving her his attention, perhaps his sexual attention, but if she's kind of fulfilling that in other ways, getting attention, validation from other men, then the validation and attention that a romantic partner would provide is not quite, is to some degree diminished. It's not as valuable, right? Because she's getting it from all these other sources.
I feel like that's how girls feel about guys that watch a lot of OnlyFans or like a lot of porn, that it's like, oh, I don't feel special anymore.
I am so with you though. We need, and I agree, we need a male solidarity movement because it's a supply and demand thing. It's supply and demand. There's a demand for porn, for OnlyFans. So are you advocating that we as men need to step up and not be these gluttons of consumption and paying for porn? And if we do watch porn, just watch the free shit.
And,
is that what you're saying?
My dress is orange, not red. You idiot.
You idiot.
Good job.
You're colorblind.
Okay, so just one thing, right? Okay. So wait, I lost my train of thought.
Well,
Go ahead.
we were going off the point that men create the market, and they do.
Yeah, they do. They're
create the
literally why
market.
I'm thriving.
So, yeah, I mean, it would take men to actually band together and decide that they were no longer going to consume that kind of content in order for it to stop.
But
And you
men-
guys aren't strong enough to do that. You guys are not strong enough to come together as a whole to stop paying us
I mean,
for sex.
okay, this idea of men coming together as a whole, there's a couple of problems there. First off, the male population is like, what, 3.5, 4 billion?
You're
So
not a
that's-
hive mind.
That's pretty tough. Well, if we're talking about male solidarity, and then when it comes to male solidarity, the thing is that men have an out-group bias for women. So women have an in-group bias for other women. So it's very hard for men to have solidarity in the same way that women have solidarity.
Yeah, but you guys are males, and you guys, us females profit off you guys of males.
I mean, it's like the disdain.
I don't pay for porn. I'm just
Right. It's like the disdain for sex workers. I mean, even if you're watching free porn, you're still contributing to what you guys consider the problem. I mean,
Yeah.
in
100%.
free porn is still, actresses still getting paid.
Yeah, no, they're
whether
still
or not
making money. The websites are still making money.
Right.
However, if it was, I want to say, if you're just, because like, what's these memes about like, why would I pay $5 to see your boobs when I can type into Google and get 8 million boobs?
I think,
You know
I
what
think
I
a lot
mean?
of the appeal for OnlyFans and the reason that it is so successful
get it.
partially
I
is
get it.
because of like the parasocial aspect. I mean, if you see a hot girl on Instagram or somebody that you follow their story and you kind of see into their personal life, like, and you want to talk to them, that's a very easy route to go, especially if you're like interested in them sexually and you're like, that piques your interest.
That's exactly what men
It's-
I've asked
yeah.
about
Yeah.
stuff like this have said.
Yeah,
They-
it's
they seek
parasocial.
like some kind of
Yes.
parasocial.
They
As
think
OnlyFans
they
in particular.
actually
Look.
feel
Oh,
like
sorry,
they
go
could
ahead,
get you. I mean, you are attainable. You are realistically attainable for some of them, compared to a girl in mainstream,
Yeah,
and they can converse with you
directly. So I
directly.
There's more of an emotional or
Personal
some kind of intimacy
experience.
rather than just
So-
searching up a random video.
They're more attainable in
Right.
some sort of way.
Right. I think
Even
that's
though
more
they're
of
kind of not, but
right. But I mean, like that's
In their
the
aspect,
appeal
in that aspect.
to a lot of, especially OnlyFans in particular. I mean, I think that's why it's thrived so much. I mean, you have these girls like Bella Thorne and Corinna Kopf that are cashing out because these men see them online and they're like, oh, I want to see her name. Like, I could pay this and I could talk to her. I mean, obviously, they're, especially with those accounts and how large they are, you'd be absolutely delusional to think that you're actually talking to them. But if they want to play into the fantasy and pay the money, then more power to them. But again, that stuff is never going to
Lynn
stop.
donated $100.
hey, Lynn, thank
I
you.
did whatever hashtag get line on
Oh.
pod. Okay, back to watching.
Yo, Lynn, thank you so much for your patronage. Appreciate it. Hashtag get Lynn on the pod in the chat. Thank you guys. Continue with your point.
But again, you're never going to get rid of OnlyFans. You're never going to get rid of pornography or prostitution or anything like that if men don't stop objectifying women to the level that they objectify women.
Yeah.
It's not
What
clear
if-
to me if it's because of objectification, though.
It is.
It
though.
is. It is. It is. It is.
It's
it is.
sexualization and objectification.
Question: if women watch porn, are they also objectifying the men or the women involved?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it? It's not clear to me.
You're
it's
watching
a
them as, like,
buzzword. This
As
is a
an object
buzzword.
rather than a person.
Yeah,
Well,
like
it
I'm not
depends.
watching porn
But are
going,
we-
oh, I'm
okay,
thinking
so-
about their soul.
So are we objectifying actors then?
Stochastic Decay donated
Sometimes we do.
$100.
Yeah, a lot of times, most of the time.
Brian,
Sure.
Oh,
Ray.
God.
I mean, look at Twitter.
Sorry I'm late.
Yeah.
Busy
Just
day
look at
dealing
about how people
drugs.
talk about
Wait,
them.
I
hold
make
on, just a sec.
$400,000 per year
Oh,
doing
damn.
it.
Congrats, man.
I like to tell myself I don't contribute to the deterioration of society. These addicts should really band together and stop buying
That's a
drugs.
good point.
LOL, not my problem.
Exactly.
That is
Or what if
No,
everyone
I-
just stopped selling drugs?
There we go.
that could.
Like, what if all women just stopped doing sex work? Then the men would have nothing to pay for or nothing
But it's
to
our
go
bodies.
Orgasms are a
And
lot
we're gonna
more
be
healthier than
objectified
drugs.
That's
whether
never
or
gonna
not
happen.
we-
It's
We're
our
gonna
body.
be getting
Porn.
DVDs from the '90s. You can't stop us. No, I'm kidding.
You can't stop. But
Men
really,
need
We're
to
gonna be-
men
we're gonna
need to
be
have better self-control.
buying
Control
DVDs. No, I'm
yourselves
kidding.
better and don't pay us. And maybe we won't profit off
the
of it.
other thing too